Hi, Shingai again with part 3 of our 5-part series on the keys to living a healthier lifestyle. So today we're going to talk about mindset and the elements that go into mindset and how to facilitate a success, positive, focused mindset within yourself in order to actually accomplish your goal of healthy lifestyle change. So first, how do I define mindset? Mindset is how you set yourself mentally when you approach any given task or situation. And there are 3 aspects of mindset that you need to be aware of. The first is your fear or reward orientation. In other words, are you motivated by fear or are you motivated by reward? Second is locus of control. In other words, what do you believe to be the driving factor of an outcome in a situation? Is it some external factor or is it yourself? And then number 3 is your orientation towards success. In other words, do you act to avoid failure or do you act to pursue success? So, starting on the first one, where we look at fear versus reward-based thinking. This one's, I think, pretty cut and dry. Most humans are motivated by fear rather than by reward, right? There are a number of studies that have pointed out to how most humans have a propensity to focus when looking at a set of options and evaluating what works and what doesn't. Humans tend to focus more on the opportunities for losing than we do the opportunities for success or the opportunities to get some kind of reward. And so that drives our behaviors to be more risk averse and to be more averse to change, even when we are stuck in situations that are suboptimal and we don't actually enjoy. So that goes without saying that we need to be very cautious when we think about our mindset, when we're talking about, okay, I want to make a change in my life and this is the set of things that I have to do. It's very important for us to think about what is it that's actually motivating us to actually do this activity. Am I doing this because I'm scared that if I don't do this, X will happen? Or am I focused on what are the positive, amazing things that I will get to experience now that I have succeeded in this thing that I'm trying to do? Those are very important distinctions that we have to be aware of. You will always be more successful if you are focused on the rewards of doing something, particularly when it comes to making changes in your life. Because, again, we are very risk-averse creatures by nature, and when it comes to lifestyle change, we're essentially taking ourselves out of our comfort zone of either self-pity, of engaging in activities that give us comfort but may not be very healthy, or other unhealthy habits or patterns of behaviors. Now, there's a comfort in that because we've built those habits. So we really need to focus on the rewards in order to give ourselves the correct motivation to actually move forward. So the second dimension is locus of control. And when we say locus of control, again, we mean what do we give the power to in order to make changes in our lives? Do we essentially say, I am where I am today because this factor happened to me, or this bad thing happened to me, or this person screwed me over, and this thing happened? Or is your orientation, I made this mistake and now I'm here, or I did this and I need to fix this in order to get to where I want to go? Those two things are very different. A person can be in the same state, but depending on whether they blame the outside world or they basically step back and absolve themselves from responsibility for where they are, and a person that owns their current situation and believes that they themselves can take steps to make a reversal has a big impact, again, on your likelihood of succeeding. The person that believes that they themselves has power in order to change where they are is going to be more successful than somebody that attributes anything that happens to them to forces outside of their control. When you believe that everything is outside of your control, it gives you an opportunity to put your hands up. and just to give in to whatever's happening. So in order to be successful, you have to adapt a mindset that takes ownership of your current situation, of the responsibility to do the work to make the changes in your life. In other words, not waiting for a magical pill to save you and to take you out of it, but to acknowledge that this transformation, this journey is going to be one that's difficult. It's going to be one that's uncomfortable. It's going to be one that I'm going to do things that I don't necessarily want to do, but by pushing myself and by putting and applying myself in this manner, I will get the result that I want. So that's the second key, super important. And then of course the third is whether you are focused on failure or focused on success. Now it's really similar to the fear versus reward standpoint. Fear versus reward focuses more on what motivates you. Success versus failure is more about how you orient your mind when you're doing something. Are you thinking about what do I need to do to be successful? Or are you thinking about, I hope I don't fail. What happens if I fail? Don't do this, don't do that. Two different things. Our subconscious mind is very programmable. It's very, very suggestible. So when you're trying to do something like make a lifestyle change, or even on a more granular level, when you're attempting to do a new form of exercise or adopt even small changes to your diet, the focus for somebody that has a weak mindset is going to be on don't eat this, don't eat that. This is going to be bad for me. Don't do this. Because what happens is when you talk about things that you shouldn't do, your mind fixates on that. Because again, your conscious mind is suggestible, but it's also very simple and it works in concepts. It doesn't understand do not. It only understands the thing you're not supposed to do. So if you say don't eat sweets, don't eat candy, you're going to focus on candy, right? Because that's what you can't do, right? And your mind is consumed by what you shouldn't do. It's focused on that. Instead, focus on what you should be doing. Focus on what you need to do to be successful. Because again, your subconscious mind is very programmable. So if you focus on the things that you're supposed to do, your mind is not going to be as preoccupied with what you're giving up. Now that's not to say that that's all going to magically disappear. I mean, we all have ingrained habits. Old habits die hard, right? It's a routine that we're addicted to. So making that change is always going to be difficult, right? Making a change to a healthier diet is always going to contain situations and moments where you crave the things that are not healthy for you. And that doesn't mean you should avoid them, right? What it means is focus your energy on what you should be doing. If you continuously focus your time and energy on what you should be doing, again, just like the habit that you're in right now that you want to change, you will build a new mental habit. You'll build a new set of defaults that your brain goes to when it says, I'm hungry, right? Because you have the discipline to focus on what it is that you need to do. Eventually, and it may take a few months, hey, it could take a year, it could take a long time, but eventually your mind will start orienting to where you direct it. So if you direct your mind on the things you need to do to be successful, you'll be successful. If you focus on the things that you need to avoid, if you focus on failure, you're likely to fail. So those are the three elements of mindset. I've given you some important tools to understand those different dimensions and to understand how if you are on the wrong side of those dimensions, you can hold yourself back psychologically and not even know it. Hopefully that was helpful. If that was, subscribe to our channel for the remaining keys to making healthy lifestyle change, and I'll see you next time.